Hello guys, and welcome back to Tuesday's vlog. This is Tuesday the 17th. Obviously I'm a little bit behind on my vlogs. I've got last week's vlog upload this week. This week will be going out next week. The sun is blinding. -4 this morning. Absolutely freezing. Not car related. I'm going to get on that in a second. Never a dull moment at Cardiff Garage North East. Random delivery put out at the road outside our gate this morning. What do you think it is? Have a guess. Just randomly at our gate, and we don't order stuff like this. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bottles of milk, orange juice and some bacon. All in date. All fresh from the milkman. What's that? Free range and pasteurised. You name it, we've had it over this wall here. I swear to God. Freezers, fridges, chairs, seats. God knows what, honestly. I'm sure even one year, honestly, I was an adult sex toy chucked over. We've had the lot over this wall. Money as well. Actually, believe it or not, there's been the odd 5 and 10 and 20 pound note. It's a magical wall, that is. No idea why that's been put there, who it's for or what, no idea. But if it's not claimed shortly, I'm definitely going to be nabbing one of the free range bottles of milk, because my dad uses this awful stuff here, which I'm not really that keen of. It's that, this stuff, UHT, what I call fake milk. What is it? This stuff. Nah, it's just like white water. It's bloody awful. But hey ho, my dad gives us it all for free. I must give a thumbs up to my dad. He does look after us every day. He brings me bait in for us, brings coffee in, milk, whatever we need, sweets, biscuits. So obviously all of our customers as well over Christmas, thank you very much. They drop biscuits and stuff and beer, but obviously I cannot be drinking beer while I'm fixing cars. So yeah, just thought I quickly run through that bit off task. But what is in? It's little C3. We all know this one, the diesel one, the one I did a little bit of a video on the summer, driving it through the Ford. Not the Ford as a car, the Ford is in the stream. Screen washes off. I know straight away what it'll be with this. It'll be frozen, because where she lives in the middle of the country, it gets freezing. There's a 10 amp or a 15 amp fuse just there under the bonnet. We'll get that changed and put some neat screen wash in, and I think it's in for a check over of some kind. Just wanted to show you this. A Mini Cooper Works. Not my cup of tea, guys, for a few reasons which I will explain. Obviously it's the John Cooper Works one. It's the top boyo. It's got the great big Brembo brakes on the front as well. Bish bash. But you've got your 1600 Prince engine in there. That's your Citroen Peugeot engine. Very nice on the inside, the usual. The BMW devised automatic, very nice. Got all sorts of cameras on there. You name it, it'll have them. Cruise control, all that. These stupid bonnet things you've got to pull up once and then twice to get in. And we'll open it up. Again, hate this right here. Why do you hate that, Dan? I hear you ask. Because it's fake. So what is the point? What is the point of that? I hate that. It's got the intercooler, which is at the bottom there. That's your intercooler. But on the supercharged ones, the proper ones, that was your duct, and it had your intercooler. I'm just going to try and get my hand in here. Yeah, so there's the bonnet open. There's your fake scoop. That goes to nowhere. Nothing. Waste of time. Utter waste of time. But yeah, I think this is, I don't know, don't quote us, but this will be, I could be, actually, I think I'm wrong on this one. This is slightly newer. This may be some devised version of the 3-cylinder, maybe? I don't know. Let's pull a cover off and have a look. See if I'm right or wrong. I think this has been more updated since the other ones I've looked at. So I'll withdraw my comment about that. But again, with it being the John Cooper Works, it's got like a strengthened internals of the engine and all that. It's probably an absolute flying machine, to be honest. But for me, I wouldn't want a soft top. For a Mini. I don't actually mind the older ones, but I wouldn't want the soft top, especially not John Cooper Works. But yeah, this might be some redone engine, but I'm still not getting 100% vibes what they are. Like I said, it's still quite a new car, an 18 plate. But this is just in for MOT and a check over. Bar that, I don't really know a great deal else I can tell you about that. Just in getting the lights checked, so I don't know. I'll get back to you when I know what's going on. Just a quick update, guys. I'm struggling with the sun here. It's reflecting off the screen and everything, but that's the usual sit and carry on. 1 cover, 2 cover, 3 cover, 4, just to get the fuse rammed right under there. And you would think, wouldn't you, this is your main channel where your water runs, and Citroen decided to put a fuse box directly underneath of it. Could have been here, could have been there, could have been on, there's somewhere within the car, but no, that's their idea. And they also make them further more awkward by putting all the little clips in such inaccessible places, and even the fuses under there are quite difficult to get in with the pliers or whatever to pull them out, because you can't get in. But yeah, just thought I'd show you that. But obviously these are all, you've got to fiddle, they're really fiddly, and it was just this little 10 amp fuse here. Note, if you've got a Citroen C2, C3, maybe the C4s, very common with these, or any of the Peugeot range, very common in the cold weather for them to blow the fuses. Now I can't start it up because it's got these here, but what I'll try to do, if it hasn't gone back into eco mode, I'll try and show you them working now. There we go. Happy days. Let's let them park, key off. So we'll just get all that put back together. I'm going to keep it relatively short today, guys. We're probably going to finish a bit earlier. I'm going to try and do this. Do some MOT training. So we've got my exam at the end of this week, I think it is. So going to go through and start going through some of the info. I'll probably cut in this afternoon if I go home and kind of show you a little bit what we've got to do. So I'll catch you soon. Right, guys, I'm having great difficulties with the sun this morning. I am not complaining because it's bitter cold and that's absolutely lovely, the sun. But I've got the massive sun visor down, so to speak. Literally a sun visor. I just wanted to go through a few little things, have a little bit of banter. First up, what I want to mention, it's been on my mind for a while. I was going to do a separate video on it, but I thought I'll just add it into here. You all know I take on little projects now and again. Over the next few months, I've only got the Altea. The Mondeo's gone, as you know. And then the other ones come back out on the road March, April time, which I'll be less likely to take to give this opportunity. To any of you viewers out there who watches, I'm not interested in paying big money. As you know, I'm not funded in any way, shape or form. All this is out my own pocket, what I do. All this filming, I'm lucky if I get enough, to cover a few costs towards a few parts for a project. But if any of you out there ever have an MOT failure, a car you're wanting to get rid of, not talking big money, or anything you've just had sitting there for a while, not years and years where, you're going to drag the thing out into bits. I don't want loads of welding. But any of you out there, if you ever have a car or a van or any kind of vehicle which is surplus to requirements, you're just wanting it rid of, you've had it sitting for ages, you're going to part X it in, send us a message and let us know what it is, how much you want, whatever. I would always be interested in taking some on. And if you watch my channel regular, you'll know the type of stuff that I like and you know the type of stuff that I don't like. But always what I keep saying to people is, just try us. Just try us. I'll only say yes and only say no. Or maybe. So anyway, I just want to go through this. We've had some workshop manuals handed to her to, well, keep, sell, whatever. I probably won't use them. But any of you guys want any of these, just send us a message. God knows if anybody's even heard of any of these of the younger generation. A locked past my time. A Ford 100E, 1953 to 1962. What else we got here? Fiat Strada. Another Ford 100E, 2 of them. Look at that, 50p. Probably, I wonder if it'll be older than me, that, unless it's a reprint. Let's have a look here. Ford Angular. Another one, in a Prefect and Popular. Citroen 2CV, Amy and Diane. Peugeot 309. Right in the middle doing this, that would have to be somebody who come into the garage, I just knew. £2.95p, Mini. Morris Marina. Triumph Dolomite. Independent rear front suspension on those. Revolutionary for the time, at least anyway. Let's have a look at some of these. Another Dolomite. These are like proper like repair manually type of things, these. That's an old one, a Jaguar. In fact, I do know somebody, I think one of my viewers has one of those. If it's any good, let us know. Vauxhall Cavalier. Sorry guys, about 3 people came in there. So yeah, Vauxhall Cavalier, 81 to 83. Quite a short time scale on that one. Probably the newest one in here. Ford car, but the Mark 1s. P-Reg to T-Reg. What else we got? The Peugeot Talbot engine 90. That'll be... Just having a look at that myself there. That's probably like, yeah, XUD, I would imagine. Oh, no, hold on, no, that's petrol. Not diesel, sorry. Can't see for looking. I'm trying to look through the phone and on the book at the same time. Yeah, that probably will be the XUD, I would imagine. Another old one here. Old Skoda Estelle. Crikey. Well before my time, all this. There's your Rover. £2. Rover 2022. Automatic transmission. Vauxhall Viva. Mini. Vauxhall Nova. Early Astra there. Volvo 440. I was never keen of those. 440, 460, 480. Oh. And I was just talking about that the other day. I don't know if that one's gone out yet or not. The Mark 1 Megane. So yeah, I'm going to try and take a picture of all these together on the floor and put it on the Facebook page, see if anybody's interested. Clearly anybody can have them if they want them, but if you want it posted, I'm not going to pay the postage. I don't get involved, but if anybody's interested, they're there. Right, the little C3's gone. The Mini's away for test. I've just been to pick this up. She was debating selling it with... Right, basically no MOT, it runs out in a couple of days. Or I've said to my wife, we might as well check it over, see what's good, see what's bad. I've just got it facing the sun to get all this defrosted off, because I don't want all this, as you can see, down there. It is literally running off like a tap. It was 2 minutes ago anyway. And I don't want all that going all over the garage. So I'm just going to have myself 5 minutes and let all that defrost itself out. And what I am going to do is, I've actually locked it because I was due to take that car up to Morpeth. Annoyed because I was just about to take that little C3 and have a skive up at Morpeth. I was going to get myself a cheeky coffee and a sandwich, and she rang us out the blue and says, I'm on my way on the bus to pick the car up. So now my dad's away for MOT for an hour. I can't get that in quite yet. I just want to let it defrost because all that water goes into your hair, down your neck, and it just covers the garage full of damp, and it just means you're walking through puddles. It's just bloody awful. So I'm just letting the majority of that ice go off. If I find anything interesting with it, I'll show you. Once I've done the pre-check, if there's anything it's not going to pass for, I'll be writing a list, just a standard pre-MOT free. I go through the car, basically do a full MOT, lights, wipers, seatbelt, the whole basic MOT, but just not actually logging it on. The only things I can't really check here is on the brake roller, but I've just had it up the road, the brakes are fine. You sharp know if you've got a problem in the exhaust emissions, and again, as long as it's got the original cat, which I think it has, and no major blows, which they did mention something about somebody patching up an exhausted neighbour. God knows. A lot of people's version of something being fixed by a neighbour is not generally suitable for an MOT, because if you've got a slight blow on the exhaust, that affects all the lambda and O2 readings, which means you'll fail the emissions. So we'll get that checked shortly. Like I said, guys, it's a bit of a shorter day today, because I'm going to head home and start logging on the computer onto the MOT course, my yearly exam, and just get my head down before Holly gets in about 4, I think, with the band, because once she's in, I kind of get on with nothing. So I'm hoping my dad might let me go 1, 2-ish. Just let us get an hour or so, because I haven't even started yet. So I just want to get the laptop on, logged on, briefly go through what's involved, do a couple of the mock exams, and go from there. So I'll catch you when I've got the Fiesta on the lip, if there's anything interesting. If not, maybe at home when I'm on the computer, or maybe tomorrow morning. Thanks for watching, guys. Well, I just thought I'd quickly show you this Fiesta while I give it a pre-check. Wait, I've already given it a pre-check. So I've got the list here. First up on my list, this is for pre-MOT. The oil level is below the minimum. That's a fail because you're meant to check the levels and it's below the minimum. And the reason probably is it's leaking oil everywhere. All this is oil. All that's oil, not water. All dripping everywhere down the back of the engine. This is all covered in oil. In fairness, for an MOT, it's not really dripped on the floor. A good clean down with some brake cleaner, but nevertheless there's a serious oil leak up there, up the back of the engine, all over the sump, all over the gearbox. And judging by that oil filter, it's been a while since it's had an oil change as well. It's getting down onto here, onto the arms and near the brakes. This isn't water, by the way, this is oil. So that's borderline a fail. I would have to look into it properly, the oil. Technically it's meant to be dripping every so often to fail them, but it's not good, the fact that the oil is getting near the braking system. It's that bad. So anyways, the oil's below the minimum. Screen wash could just because it's frozen, but obviously it isn't working at the time of test, which would be now. It's full to the top, not working, so that would be a fail. Sills, we'll go back. I don't even need the assessment tool for these ones. Got the old finger. There we go. Fail. And the other side. Fail. Don't need no assessment tool there, guys. Just need your finger. So yeah, back of the sills. Obviously, it's within 30 centimetres of the bottom mount of the rear seat belt, which is in this area. And that obviously is a structural point of the car, which is the sill. So yeah, not that bad. On here's where they go on the axle. I've still yet to give that a bit better assessment. I've given it a little tap, and it's fine. But these are renowned. The pre-facelift ones like this aren't too bad. But yeah, I'm going to give these a bit better check later on. Handbrake cable is in one mount but not the other. A new handbrake cable, so I will say it. Try and push that in a second. Exhaust had some kind of repair, but if it's not blown, who knows? It's all full of putty and God knows what. So yeah, God knows. It's even full of oil here where it's all splashing back. So that's that, which is a fail. Obviously the welding needed. Oh, this back tyre is not only flat. These cuts in it here, I don't know if you can see with the light, if you can just see that, it's actually a good view with the sun shining in. Can you actually see the little white bits in those cracks? That's your cord. And this tyre's actually flat, so if I inflate it, I mean, look how deep it goes there. If I actually inflate this tyre, you really will be able to see the cords. So that's really badly perished. You can see it there. I don't know if you can see them cords in there. But when you inflate that up, because it is actually flat, so it needs that back tyre. This is a really old tyre, but it's in mint condition. It's probably better rubber than the new tyres are made out of. Has this tyre got a date stamp on it? Let's have a look. Would it be up here somewhere? I'm just having a look. I'm trying to record and do this at the same time, guys. I don't know, but I've got a feeling this is the original spare out of the car from 2003. And the front tyres are also fine for the test. Oh, yeah, obviously, these fuel lines don't look the best to me. They're not leaking, but it wouldn't take much for those to rupture, and you'll have high-pressure petrol running all over. I'm not actually going to be... and they're not even secured very well either. And obviously, that's high-pressure fuel going through those. So, yeah, that's the verdict on the Fiesta. She had it for sale for £600 with only a few days MOT left on it. I'm not really sure anyone's going to be buying it now. But yeah, to be honest, it's not a bad little car. It had new front shockers, bits and bobs. It was a little bit of work. It'd be a shame to scrap it. I would be tempted to take it on as a project, but for scrap money, not £600, put it that way. But yeah, that's an update on that. Going to give her a ring now, give her the bad news. She probably won't want it done, and I'll go and drop it back off to her. And we've just had this the Reeve I dropped in for tomorrow, just so it's in earlier. That's just the icing out there. That's in for rear discs and pads, I think, and tyres, I believe. I'll need to look into it in the diary. My dad's dealt with that, so I'll leave it there, guys, and I'll catch you for a quick snapshot at home of the MOT course. So I'll catch you on tomorrow's vlog on Wednesdays. Thanks for watching. Hello guys, welcome back to Wednesday's vlog. I didn't get a chance doing a recording yesterday of the revision, just I want to get it done. But on Friday, like I said, we're doing the exam. I'll give you a quick insight once we're getting through it, just to what's involved with that. Because we're not going to be in the garage, so it's a day less of footage. So what's in? I'll just quickly show you. We've got this C-Max in, but if you have a look on the grill here, it's got all these active flaps. You see all them things in there? All just more to go wrong down the line, all for so-called emissions and intelligent sort of cooling and stuff. That just totally, in my opinion, waste of time. So you can imagine if a brick or something or a rock goes through there and breaks them, it's the ones further back. Or when the jam closed like that on a summer's day in the overheat. Now I'm imagine that'd be maybe a safety device on it, but just all unrequired. Mariva, rear discs and pads. The inner edge of them are getting low, and if you can just see in there, that inner pad is getting low. So we'll get them rear discs and pads done, got them in ready to go. We're going to get tyres, but we're going to leave that to the customer. I don't think there's anything else in, because it's coming later on. There's a little DS3 coming in. No, it's not here. DS3 coming in for wheel bearing and stuff. But the usual personal issues today. It must have been about 7 o'clock last night after I'd finished doing my revision. I got a text message off my ex-partner saying it's Charlie's, parents' evening. Sorry, somebody just come in there the minute I was doing the recording. Yeah, saying it's Charlie's parents' evening today at 5 o'clock. So we were going to work late tonight to sort the DS because we had finished early yesterday to do some revision. Obviously, my dad says get yourself away, family comes first, but it's becoming a bit of a joke, let's just put it that way. But we'll leave that there with ex-partners. It's just a complete joke, but nevertheless, that's that. So that's it. Now I'm going to quickly show you when it comes. I'll do a separate video. I'm going to get the C-Max stripped down. That's in for MOT and service. You've seen that the other week. I went through the headlamps on it, all the active lights and all the rest of it. I'll quickly go on and show you now. I'll pause it, and you'll see on an older car like this one how bad a condition they get. Sorry guys, somebody came in there, just had a bit chat with him about day vans, camper vans. He does a good conversion on a camper. He's doing his own. He's got a Sprinter, long wheelbase. I've been having a look every time I've walked past, and he's doing a good job. Anyway, I got distracted there. But yeah, I was going to show you the C-Max, but it's down. But I am showing you what we're going to be doing under here. So we've got the fuel filter to do on it, the air filter. Fuel filter's buried back here underneath the cage. You've got to take all the cage off, but these are a nightmare. They don't have a primer in the tank, and they don't have a manual primer either. So never ever run one of these Peugeot Citroen engines out of fuel, because you'll have massive issues getting them restarted. Because they're just like a little element thing, like this. And there's just no way of getting them primed whatsoever. I've actually got to use a suction device to make sure that it primes everything through, otherwise these things just do not start. And these air filters are an absolute nightmare as well, which basically the back edge of the air filter, which is here, creates the seal on the airbox, and they've got like this little V in them, and that's just an absolute nightmare at times to get them lined up. Pain. And the fuel filters, they've improved them to what they used to be when you had to take them apart, and that's your fuel filter there, which is an element, but I'll show you the old one when I've got the new one fitted. But there are very, very complex things to do if you are servicing them on your driveway. Just be careful, because when these things don't want to start, you're in quite a bit of trouble actually. And obviously that's the filter inside the box, and it goes around this edge, which creates the seal. It's a stupid idea, to be quite honest. From day one, I've hated that idea, and the oil filters on these are buried down there. You've got to take all the air intake pipe off and everything. Again, dates simply back to you put the Citroen Peugeot engine into a Ford. It was never designed to be in that car. One thing I want to show, service histories as well. In here, just makes things so difficult. This is why we always do this. The sun's terrible here. Obviously, Arnold Clark and everybody, they don't bother writing nothing on it. Like here, Nissan as well. Don't know why Nissan been servicing it, but nothing. Not a thing. It's just easy for the customer and for yourself as a garage. When you do it, you just simply, that year had oil and air. Last year, oil filter only. So naturally this year we know we're doing a whole lot, because there was no history of a fuel filter being done. So we've told them, look, we've done 2 services. It's been 2 years. We come up 3 years now. Best get the fuel filter done. So that's why we're doing that today. And the air filter hasn't been done since 2021. We're now to 23. And he said, we told them, when you're in there, in that area, it's easier to take everything out and do it. So hence it's getting oil, air and fuel. So we're going to write on oil, air and fuel. So next year when we come to service it, we'll look and we'll go, he's only done so many miles, just an oil change. Easier for the customer, saves you money as a customer, and we just do the honest job, what we should be doing. So yeah, I never understand what's so difficult for these so-called dealerships to just write on oil, air, fuel, pollen or whatever. In the pollen filter before you ask is a nightmare on these. So unless I told him it would be like an additional kind of labour, he said, just leave it. So you don't go there with stuff like that now. With these pollen filters, which they're taking an hour to do, of stripping fuse boxes out, glove boxes out, they're a nightmare, some of them. I'm sure it is on this one, because it's got the dual climate control. It makes them even more difficult than normal. Could be wrong off the old C-Max, this is a slightly newer one, but from memory, if memory serves us right, they're not the easiest ones to do on those. So yeah, I'll come back to you when I've got the fuel filter out and show you a bit of a comparison. I'll probably wait until I've got the brakes stripped on the Mariva and show you when they're done as well. Quick update, guys. As usual, problems, wrong parts. I just wanted to quickly show you what was involved. Put the light on. So, back here, that's it all apart. This is the worst part of the whole thing. These silly metal cages they put over them for crash protection. It's diesel anyway, not petrol. It's not that flammable. But right back there, why you then need to have solid grade steel? You'd have to be in a serious accident for that. But that's your precautions. But this back one is a right pain. All the little pieces off. That's like an engine mount, engine cover bracket you've got to take off, and that's it out. The problem is they're meant to be a revised idea, but I'm not completely convinced. So this is a fuel filter, as you can see, rather black, and this is the one we've been sent. But I'm not convinced that it should fit. In my opinion, if a filter has something on it, it should be there. So turn them over the other way. Just need to keep this one clean. As you can see, they look similar enough from that angle, but this one has a little bulb on the top, and this one doesn't. Now, technically speaking, all it has to do is sit in the bottom of there. If you can just see into that diesel, that it goes into there. But I'm a big believer if something's got that on, it should be in. Simple as that. I'm not happy fitting this to cause problems. So I've been on my other company, give them the reg. Sure enough, straight away, the right part has came. But what I did do, I also ordered them from my current suppliers, because the price, which I'm not going to really mention, is far too expensive for that. So I'm just waiting. In 2 minutes time there should be a delivery come with the right one. So I'm just waiting to see if the 2 choices these are sending is right and it's cheaper. I'll fit the cheaper one. Same brand, it'll still be a Bosch Roman filter, just from a different company, therefore cheaper. So there. And this unit just goes on the top like that. It's a nice idea. It just, but these you do have to watch though. This clip idea here, which I'm actually going to show you now because it's just come off. You just pop it up underneath. I need to get a screwdriver for that, because the one that I've got is currently being used. Easier said than done with one hand. Pop it up like that, and you've something you've got to be really careful of with that clip. It has to be lifted up like that. If you go getting a screwdriver underneath or forcing it, you will break it and you can't change it, and you'll need a whole new filter top. So just one word of warning. And like I've mentioned, there is diesel in there, but even when you put the new one in, you can top it up a little bit, but it still will have air in. So what I always do is, once you connect the pipes up, which you can see, there's an arrow in and that one's out. So what you do is, you connect the in one, so you put that pipe on first, and then I connect the vacuum machine to this, and then it obviously draws that in from the tank, fills the filter up, and draws all the air out. And that's it, ready to start. Happy days. And just one for people who say the DV5 and the 8-valve DV6 is not a Citroen Peugeot engine anymore. It's a Ford, what they call Jura Torque, wherever the cover has gone. Jura Torque it isn't. It's still a Citroen Peugeot engine, right there. Just in case anybody. There's Ford Motor Company, Peugeot, Citroen. Ford developed with Citroen and Peugeot for some of it, but it's still a Citroen and Peugeot engine, so don't get yourselves mistaken on that. That's the brake sort on the Mariva. Rear discs and pads, Padgett. As you can see now, there's a lot more meat on them to what there was. And that's this one done. So I'm going to leave that there, wait for this delivery to come, get this one built back up, and I'll catch you later on. Just quickly, to finish off Wednesday's vlog, as I've explained, I need to get away pretty soon to get home, to get ready to go to my son's parents' evening. Let's hope he's done well. Anyways, there's a few things I just want to go through. The C-Max, that's done the fuel filter. As it happens, 3 filters delivered, 2 of which are the same, and the other one, as you've seen with that little peg on, I rang them up and they said, oh, this is some modified unit. Sorry, but if that little peg thing's not on the bottom, I'm not happy to fit it, and that doesn't even look fully circular. And the other thing as well, I ordered a Bosch one in from a different supplier, and guess what? Came perfect. Absolutely spot on, so all that can go back in fitting it. Right, this is this DS3, but the C-Max, reset the oil dilution on that, which is important on those DV5 engines, as well as doing the fuel filter. I had the air filter, you see my dad doing oil and filter, and that's away for MOT now. The Mariva, back brake discs and pads done. They're going to come back in a couple of weeks to have the front pads done and the tyres on the front done. And there's a light on it, which I've scanned. It's everybody. I get loads of people with Vauxhalls. If you do own a Vauxhall, guys, and you get a car with a spanner light up saying vehicle service required, take it to a garage and get it scanned, because it doesn't mean that it needs a service necessarily. It means there's a fault that's not bad enough to put an engine management light on, so it tells you there's something not right. Get it to a garage, and sure enough, that one's got a glow plug off, but unfortunately, them 1700 Isuzu engines are a nightmare when it comes to glow plugs. A, they snap quite commonly, which we don't want to go there. B, they're difficult to get to a certain extent on the Mariva, because they're underneath the dashboard. And C, they don't tell you specifically which one is off, it just says the glow plug circuit voltage low, so then that's up to you to try and you can't. There is ways of testing them in the car, but it's difficult getting down the back of the engine. So 9 times out of 10, you've got to play like sort of potluck, remove one, see if it's working, happy days, remove it, or just simply order in 4 and do all 4. But it's not always that simple with those. So I've told the customer, at your peril. Normally don't affect regens that much on those Isuzu engines. It does help, but hey-ho. It'll not affect it starting, and they don't use it a great deal anyway, so they're going to have a think about it and get back to it. And I said, if you do want them done, bring it in, and I'm going to pour some oil down the glow plug ports, use it for a couple of weeks, then when you bring it back in, it's had time to soak. So that's that. Right, onto this. I want to get cracking, guys, because I'm sorry this week the content's not much. I know up to now you've only seen us change a fuse or something on a C3 and whatever else has been in. I would like to get more in depth, but I have done quite a bit in depth the last few weeks. For years, well, to an extent. What I can do, as well as running the garage and doing a YouTube channel and holding the phone in my hand and saying to me dogs. So yeah, it is a bit more difficult than what you think. But what this DS3's in for, it's the one that was in the other day. Needs a wheel bearing. So we've got the front wheel bearing here, a genuine FAG one. We've got the TRW drop link in case the one that's on has problems coming off, and we've got an ABS sensor as well. Not my favourite brand of Padgett for a sensor, nothing wrong with the brakes, but I prefer like Bosch or something. But again, fingers crossed we don't need it. These two are just basically to get the strut off. You've got to basically remove the disc, the pads, the caliper carrier, and the strut out of the hub, the bottom ball joint, trap rod end, etc, etc. And part of that is removing the drop link, and they can sometimes break when you remove them or get damaged, and so can the sensor. So these two parts are here purely as backups if we need them, so they're here. But that's initially what we just need, which is just a standard. I'll show you. It's not a hub or anything, just it comes as a standard bearing like that. And then you get your circlip and your hub nut. So yeah, I'm just not overly joyed where it says China on there, because there's something about these, even though it's FAG, I'm not overly keen of this little word here that's been put on them, but there's nothing I can do about it. The Schreifer Group, when that word's written on there, it's a bit like they've got permission to use the premium brand names. It's like a franchise, so it's like they can use FAG, they can use SNR, SKF, whatever, but it's actually shite in the box, to be quite honest. But again, I can't do nothing about it, guys, other than going to Citroen. There's nothing else I can do, because that's pretty much the only brand that's out there. And it's the same, like this company do everything now with the bearings and clutches and stuff like that, and unfortunately it's either get it or go to the dealers, and you're not going to go to the dealer for a Citroen bearing for a car like this. It would just cost a fortune. Anyways, been pissing about here for about 10 minutes looking all over for lock and wheel nut for this damn thing here. So obviously I pulls the car in the garage, and this is a rubbish we've got to deal with every day, guys. So I pull the car in the garage, I'm like, right, lock and wheel nut, not their usual place, not in the glove box. Oh, there's manual there, a common place I shoved into. Check that, nothing. So I'm like, oh God. And luckily this car's not full of junk like some of them are. So I, in the back like this, messing on down here, I'm looking, thinking, yeah, stuff there, and I'm thinking, right, where was it, where I seen it? There was a little gap, there. That's where it's meant to go, not there. Great. So, you move to plan B at this point, by the way, is you use a bit of common sense and you think, has the car actually got lock and wheel nuts on? Yes, it has. So I was like, damn, because sometimes obviously when people take them off like I do, there isn't one there, but yes, it has got one. So I'm looking round, I'm thinking, there's nothing in here, nothing in there. I'm pulling them out, pull this cloth out. I'm like, yep, nothing in there. And I felt that goes, oh, that cloth's a bit heavy. Sure enough, it was wrapped up in the middle of a cloth. So there you go, guys. Partly my fault, because I'm just putting these back in here. You could say that's partly my fault for not asking the guy. Really, we should, which I do with most people. I say, have you got a lock and wheel nut? But sometimes up to 10-15 minutes when cars are full of junk as well, having to go through and look for this. But on the note, these Citroen and Peugeot lock and wheel nuts are awful. Never ever use a windy gun, or never ever force with a big bar with these. They will rip, they will snap, and you will be up shit creek. So don't mess with them. What I would strongly recommend you do with them is take all the lock and wheel nuts off, put them in the bin, and put 4 standard ones on. 100%. I do it with every one of my cars. So I'm going to leave that there, guys. I'm going to get on, strip this down before my dad gets back, or at least get it on the lift, get the wheel off, and start scraping down a few of the threads and putting a bit of oil on and just helping away, because about not much later than 3 o'clock, which is 20 minutes time, I need to, obviously I haven't got my car here. I want to start walking home with the dogs, get home, get a shower. I don't want to turn up like a tramp at my son's school, so I want to get a shower, shave, get changed, and get over there to Ashton. So catch you on tomorrow's vlog on Thursday. Still Wednesday, guys. I just thought I'd quickly show you this. Obviously I'm just about to leave now. That's 10 minutes of work, maybe 10-15 minutes of work. That's it all stripped. I just wanted to show a few things. First up, these Apex pads, why I'm not particularly fond of them. Have you seen how far the lining of the pad sticks above the metal backing plate? I noticed this years ago when fitting these to a Picasso, and it's not a very good idea, that is. So anyways, caliper carrier off, disc off. We've got the ABS shroud off, wherever that just went to here. But that is in there tight. Again, I've got a new one just in case it gets damaged to try and get it off. If not, you've got to disconnect the wiring all the way up here. Exhaust hangers, what you get them with. Ideal caliper hangers to keep that out the way. Track rod off. Little split in that. I might either replace it, because it's actually in good nick, just put a little bit of RTV on there. That's off. So now we've got the hub free moving. All we need to take off now is this top one on the drop link. I've already got the pinch bolt out on the back, which is this long thing. That's out, and then just the bottom ball joint off, and that's your hub off to be able to press the bearing once you take the hub nut off. So there's just a few things I just wanted to recap with you. A few little good ideas. But them pads, I must say I spotted that years ago and I wasn't overly keen, and they're still doing it. There might be a reason for it, but not my idea of good design. So anyways, that's that. I'll catch you tomorrow on Thursday's vlog. Hello guys, and welcome back to a Thursday morning. thought I'd do a bit different here, because when we get in, there's just that DS3 stripped down and something else to look at. I just thought, bit different. Last time I did this, it was 25-30 degrees, but this is the first time since, well, late autumn, since I've been able to walk in through the woods, because the ground has been that badly, well, the rain and everything with the mud. But now I've got the opportunity when it's frozen. But I do have to pinch myself sometimes of how lucky I am to class this as my morning commute with me dog. Hunter, yeah. Sit. Sit. Good boy. He's been on to his training. Waiting. Wait. Obviously I won't do this for long for purposes of the video, but he will just sit there. Stay. He will just sit there. As long as I leave him, I can walk down this corner out of sight, but I'm pointing on with my fingers here, so he may get the wrong instructions. Until I tell him, come on then. Let him get ahead. Hunter, we call him back. Walk here. Hey, hey, walk here. Hunter. Wants to have a wee first. Walk here. He has just been let off, so he's bursting. And he will just walk like that, by your side, for as long as required. Go on then, till you tell him that he's got his free time. I know it's not car related, guys, but like I say, this channel, it's turned into just a bit of a hobby for me now. I'm not bothered about fighting for as many subscribers. If people, like a lot of people have commented, Dan, will enjoy your footage, all the rest of it, what you do, who you are, all the rest of it. If I've got 2,000 subscribers of people who genuinely respect what I do, which a lot of yous do, that does it for me. I'm not bothered. If the channel happens to somehow randomly grow, it will. But I just watched last night, I don't know what it is. There's some magical thing that I must just not be doing. Sorry guys, just met another dog walker coming through. I really have missed this, and I cannot wait until things dry up a little bit. But as you can see, when it isn't frozen, this is just simply impassable along here, especially the bit round the corner there. There's a degree of how muddy I want the dogs to be and wet, and me feet up the eyes for going to work. I know I work in a garage, but I still don't want to be covered in mud. Anyways, I just want to get back to that. Yeah, I'm not going to fight and strive anymore. I mean, obviously over the summer, when I've got the various shows, I have to watch me step here. I'm going to promote my channel a bit. But I just watched last night, like, I don't know how old she was. I didn't watch it, it just popped up. She must have been like, I don't know, a 20-year-old, 19-year-old lass, changing a brake drum on a Citroen C1. And it had been on for like 7 days, and it had over 2,000 views. And I'm like, why? How? Is it what's the word? If you're not experienced and you're just changing a brake drum on your driveway, do you get more views? Is it the fact that people look at me and go, oh, well, he runs a garage, I'm not watching, it's boring? Or is it, I don't know, the fact that I suppose some weird men just want to watch a 19-year-old changing a brake drum? Lass changing a brake drum? I do not know. Sorry, another dog walker and customer going past there, having a chat with her. Yeah, she's actually the lady who had that burgundy Fiesta when I did the love and hate thing on the other week. Still might be getting that yet, you never know. But anyways, yeah, I don't know, guys. I've been watching like a few people. I try not to be judgmental, but people who are like really crap at doing things, and they've got like loads and loads and loads of views, and I'm like, don't get us wrong, I like watching people making an attempt at stuff. That's perfectly fine. But it's like, I sometimes question myself, like, I'm trying to run a garage and do this channel, which really delays us, and I'm getting, you know, I'm not doing bad, but I question, like, I think a lot of people give up their businesses to go onto YouTube. I couldn't be tuned with that. Like, sitting there I'm not too bothered. I do it on my phone, it gets uploaded, I get on with it. But I couldn't be bothered devoting my life to it, and then finding that somebody who hasn't got a clue what they're doing the job wrong, his video gets more views than your video doing the job right. Sorry for the rant, guys. Morning rant. It's a lovely morning, so I'm not going to depress myself in this lovely environment about stuff like that. Yes, I'm not going to spoil me morning walk or anything like that about it, but I do find it shocking sometimes when I stumble across, as we all do, probably how most of you found my video, stumbled across it under suggested links, and I'm watching something and I'm like, why do I even bother if somebody gets that amount of views for something so like trivial or not like, you know, like, I don't know, I don't know if I'm missing something. I don't know if I should be adding different tags. If anybody's onto YouTube here, if you are successful on YouTube, am I doing something wrong? Obviously, I'll go through my videos every week. I always watch every video before I upload it. And then I go through, like, for example, if there's I don't know, like a Citroen ZX in the video, I'll put in Citroen ZX as a tag. If there's an air filter job, I'll put in air filter, whatever. And obviously in the title of my weekly vlogs, I'm just going to change my hand around here because my fingers are freezing. And then if I do any, I add them in. Obviously in the title, I can do so many things, but obviously with my weekly vlogs, they're like once or twice a week. But to keep changing that and changing photographs is time consuming, and it's time I don't have. So if there's anybody out there who knows what, I mean, if I'm asking this question, everybody would be a millionaire, but is there any things you can do to help your videos? Because you cannot say what's in them, because when they come up with suggested links, nobody's watched it, so nobody knows. So it's something that people must be putting into tags or hashtags or something like that I'm not aware of, because I just I don't get it. It just doesn't make sense. Or maybe them people are promoting that video, that channel a bit more on YouTube, but I find it difficult. I've got my car at garage on Facebook, sorry. I've got my car at garage on Facebook. Bar going through to share it to my friends, which I've only got limited friends on Facebook, I'm stuck. There's Instagram, which I barely know how to use, and I've tried putting the odd few things on there, and it's a bit meh. Snapchat, again, little short videos of stuff. It's not really, like, I don't know, unless I get a car with a wheel hanging off coming in, I don't really find that. So if anybody's got any information along those lines, let us know. In the meantime, I'm going to get my gloves back on because my fingers holding the phone are going to drop off. Catch you soon, guys, when I get to the garage. Right, guys, an update before the parts come. I didn't actually get around to doing any filming when I got in because we didn't expect him to do this amount of work. So that's the DS3. You see what I stripped last night? That's done, sorted. I'll just show you what the result of that was. Just in case any of you are unfamiliar of a bearing on these. Obviously that's all the ball bearings in pieces, but if I get out of the light, can you see that area there? That was what makes all the noise. Just takes one little, like this race here, that's fine. But the one at this side, for whatever reason, all them little bits then, you'd be surprised just those few little marks how much noise that makes when you drive. But there you go, and obviously in turn that all damages the bearing. You can see obviously they're the ones that are getting hot. So that was on the side that was fine, because they're nice and silver, and they're like a bronzy colour. Obviously they've been getting hot due to the damage. So there we go, that's that done. Right, Kia Sportage, we've got in for MOT. Again, prime example where, you know, you shouldn't assume things. All the brakes, pretty much all of them, are knackered. These rear discs are well gone. The state of that on the inside. And the other one is even worse. That was on the outer, and on the inner, just absolutely fallen to bits. So, rear discs and pads, but some well-paid designer decides on these. You've got your two caliper carrier bolts, so obviously this is your caliper carrier here. That goes on, when I get it in the right way in my hand, that goes on when I get my hand right, like that, on there, obviously, where it holds the caliper. So, the top of it, nice and easy to get to it, but the bottom one, yep, you've got it. They've put an arm in the way. Now, I'm not joking. That, through there, that little tiny gap is where you've got to try and get the fixings out. You could remove the arm, but when you remove these arms, you affect all of the rear, like, tracking, like the geometry. On a lot of cases, you can damage bushes, so we managed to get them out without removing them. These have got the shoe inside of a drum, so you've got your brake drum within the brake disc. So obviously this is your handbrake. your caliper does your foot brake. As you can see, that's like the drum area where the shoe runs, which wasn't really ideal either. So obviously they're done. They want in a really bad state, to be quite honest with you. And then we've got so these, we're going to get, we've obviously got all the pistons pushed back. We're going to get the silicone grease onto those. You can see that grease is starting to dry out of them. I'm going to clean them off, fresh silicone grease on them. The other ones within the caliper carrier. We'll get the sliders cleaned out in there, so that the new pads slide in nice and easy. Obviously, we're just waiting for the delivery of the parts, and this is about as far as we can get. I'm going to grease up a few of these, which are the fixings, which you really don't... You imagine them getting seized behind there. Even with the arm off, yeah, you'll be in big trouble. So we'll get them greased up. The little screws that hold the disc to the hub. And on the front, they were down pretty much nearly to the metal on one of them. So they're the discs aren't the best, but they're good enough, as you can see, to run another, like basically another set of pads on them, plus the expense of the rears. So with these, you can see they're getting quite low. They're your wear indicators. There's barely anything left on there. Which one was it? This one. Next to nothing left on there. The wear indicator, I would say about within another 500-600 mile. That would have been squealing. And it's the same on this side. Don't know where I've put the pads, but yeah, that's stripped down, pistons pushed back, sliders, I'm going to clean them up a bit more, and that's it. Pads to go in, job done. So, in this tyre, it's getting near the limit. It's not quite on the limit. Remember, MOT, you only test to minimum standard, so unless it's actually on or below the minimum standard, which is 1.6 mil, it's an advisory. So that's obviously going to be advised. Normally, I would say get it done, but it's going to be a lot of money. She'll get that sorted afterwards. I'll leave that there. Going to get on with it, get this sorted. But you've had a dog morning this morning, and this is obviously how we've been off today. This is Hunter's first day of being out in the workshop, untied up, and he's been absolutely fantastic. It's coming up just past 11:30. He's been here the majority of the morning. He's never really once had to be told. He's never once ventured to the door. Good as gold, aren't you? Eh? My hands are minging, so I cannot rub you. So there we go. He's good as gold. That's how I want him set for the summer. So when they're out in the car, whatever, out there, I know he's not just going to wander off without being told, which Harvey does tend to do. He'll wander off up there, and that'll be him away. But where we're Hunter, unless I tell him, which I'm going to tell him now. Go on then. He will, actually. Go on then. Till he's told, he will. Go on then. There, you can have yourself a bit of a gallop. Anything that's lying around loose, a piece of cardboard, a stick, a twig, a bit of plastic, he has to grab it and carry it round. That's a spaniel for you. That's what they're bred to do. So there we go. That's him, a happy dog. The good life, eh? Right, I'm going to crack on. I'm going to let him have a wee. I'm going to get this. Hopefully the delivery will be here soon, and I'll come back to you when it's built up, and I'm going to go and do an MOT on it when I get 5 minutes. Like I mentioned, I've got my MOT course tomorrow, so we won't be here. So yeah, catch you soon, guys. Quick update on the Kia before the wheels go on. So we've got the front pads done. Padgett ones went in, relatively easy, nice enough system, I must say. You obviously got to take the top one off on these because the flexi pipe on these, you don't mess around with them because we've got quite a large fixed pipe on there which can be easily damaged. So they're done, and as you see, the usual wax oiled up of all the pipes. So that's ready to go. Other side, the wheels already on. Back ones, new discs, drums adjusted, new pads in. But luckily with these, with the R2 with the brake shoes in the disc, the drum, but these are a lot better to wind back because you just use a standard G-clamp rather than having the wind back tool. So they're in, again, all the bits wax oiled up, the little bits of extras. What's been done? So there we go. See the pipe done and whatnot. And there's Hunter deciding to, first time he's got off his mat, on your bed, in, lie down, in, come on. He's a bit confused when he's got the camera pointed in his face. So there we go. I'll probably get back to you this later on this afternoon when I've done the MOT. If not, I'll just do a quick finish after the week, after I've done what exam, I'll let you know whether we pass or fail. Let's hope we bloody pass, because it's a royal pain in the arse every year. Every 5 years you used to go to a refresher course, which was nice. You would sit in a classroom with like-minded people, discuss things, do a few little like exams. Now it's all this online multiple choice rubbish. It's just a money-making scam, that's all it is. Because I must admit, you come away from these yearly exams and you haven't learnt nothing. You've lost a day of work. You ain't really learnt nothing. Where when you were travelling, I think it was down to Darlington. It's Darlington way. That's where I did my HGV test, down in Darlington, where they've got the Rosa, now DVSA site. It was good. I just missed out on that. But from what I've heard and seen and everybody else, that was the way to do it. I don't even remember what I did. This only just come in when I first passed my MOT licence, and there wasn't nothing like this. You just carried on. And I think I just missed mine, because I think I'd done it. I did about 3 or 4 years of testing, and then I was just about due to do a refresher course, and then they stopped the refresher courses and started with this online absolute fiasco. It's just all absolute junk questions which are made to mix you up. It's like they deliberately word them to confuse you, and to me it should just be testing your general knowledge of testing, what really matters about it, not all of these trick questions. I just don't think it's right, and especially me and my dad with like dyslexia and stuff, it really does trip you up. And it's not necessarily that you don't know the answers, it's when they're wording the answers just nicely to confuse you. And there's, when you're doing a test on a car, you look at the manual and it's A or B, it's pass, fail, whatever. It's none of this confusing you with words and stuff like that. So yeah, and there's a lot of dates coming into it now, like a car first registered before the 1st of September 2010's 50% for your brake and balance, then after that 10 date it's 55%, and all sorts of dates that you need to test fog lights, headlamp washers, you name it. There's just dates for everything. Like engine management lights, I've explained, on a diesel car to 08 is up to 08 is a pass, after 08 is a fail, but petrols is only up to 03. It's just crazy. You have got to refer to the manual for just about everything. So these exams I don't particularly see of a real necessity. It's just a money-making scam of getting like over 100 quid off people. Anyways, I'm going to go get this car sorted, and I'll catch up with you soon. If not, it'll be tomorrow when we've done or starting what exam. Well guys, I'm not sure how good the light is here, but this is me walk home tonight. I've got a torch. This camera doesn't show the light as good as the forward facing one. Looks like a bit of a Halloween movie. I'm just walking through the woods with Hunter on my way home. I just wanted to say I got sorted with the MOT, did my QC and all the rest of it. The Kia passed, obviously. I was going to do some filming. To be quite honest guys, it was too cold, too dark, and I had to go and pick the customer up on my way home. So that's that done, and I'll catch you tomorrow when we do the exam. I just wanted to say a final goodbye on me walk. It's a lot better, this camera, on me walk back home. So from this morning to this evening, lovely evening. I've had yet more snow today. Hunter's thoroughly enjoying it. I've got me Sealy lamp, which I've borrowed from the garage, which provides a perfect headlight. I highly recommend these. They're very good for charging phones. They act as like a power bank, and obviously you can turn it on to from the beam to a standard kind of torch, but I prefer the beam, and that way I can just spot exactly what's going on. But yeah, there'll be a lot more of this to come in the well, I'm just going to switch this round. Hopefully you'll be able to see me face a bit better. There'll be a lot more of this to come. That actually works alright. There'll be a lot more of this to come in the summer, through the woods, doing various things with the dogs. If you're not interested, that's fair enough. Like I say, this is Cardiff Garage North East. It's more of a vlogging show. It's about my life, what I do, my projects. I'm not just going to go on and on and on about cars. It's on about enjoyment of life, really, quality of life. Lovely walk this morning you've seen. Nice walk this evening. To me, it's the perfect way of life. I try to live a stress-free life in my job. Like I touched on this a few weeks ago. I could earn a lot more money working at a dealership. I could work a lot more money. Makes it look weird, that. I could earn a lot more money going offshore, doing long-distance driving, things like that, getting into my HGV. I've got my licence and that. But I prefer this, being able to just walk in, every day with my dogs, walk home, stress-free, having the day with my dad. Sometimes it's more of a laugh than actually being at work, getting paid to have fun, along with projects, cars, day-to-day life. I enjoy it. I don't want the extra money. I would rather be happier in myself doing a job that I enjoy. So I'm going to leave that there, whilst it looks like I'm in some kind of horror movie, and I'll catch you all tomorrow, but it'll be at my house, hopefully, when we've passed our exam, and we're going to treat ourselves out for dinner. If we fail our exams, we'll be having a ham sandwich. So I'll catch you on tomorrow on Friday, and I'll end this week's vlog. Right guys, as promised, I can't remember where I left things off on Thursday, but this is now Friday afternoon. Me and my dad have just been on doing our exams, obviously in separate rooms, but I just want to show you, we're getting them sorted. I've just put everything together. I've got more laptops and bits of paper and God knows what. So yeah, just thought I'd show you. Mine done. Managed to somehow get 100%, 30 questions out of 30. So happy days. Them red marks are just ones I've flagged. And my dad's getting one wrong. He got 97, 8 or something, was it? 96.7, but that's the equivalent of one wrong out of 30. But the annoying thing is, like I've already mentioned to you, the questions are specifically made to trip you up. It's like you know what the answer is, but they twist it ever so slightly, which is not real world stuff. It's just to get people to fail, basically. So you've got to pay another, I think it's like £100 for the test or more. In fact, it's definitely more than that. It's just money making scams. Like we all know what the right answers are. Even when you get a one wrong, you can guarantee you've getting it more or less right. It's the way they've worded it. It's just so difficult to confuse you. Like a different word letter or a different number, or right at the end tolerance to, like, if something's like 20%, they've got it at like 19, or they'll miss something out. They do make it very, very difficult. So yeah, just thought to say. You got anything you want to say? Was it hard? There's a few people on the channel.
Too old for it.
A few people on the channel keep saying he needs to join in, so here he is.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? What was the hardest part of it?
It's using the computers.
Exactly.
For me.
People have got to remember, my dad's in his 60s and trying to use these computers. Like there's computers littered everywhere here. There's another one there, because just one button and you knock your whole course off. So you've got to have the tester's guide on one of them, tester's manual on the other. You've got to have your handwritten work, which we've done, revision. And you've got to prove all your hours of training and stuff like that. So yeah, it does become very difficult. But I will say, before anybody says, oh, yous have like cheated or anything, which I really haven't, but I will admit, with my dad with the computer, I do have to just jump in. So what I don't do is set my test away the same time as his, because if he just hits one button and it knocks the computer off, he's knackered. So you've got to be of assistance. And like I've mentioned, I'll admit it, I've got dyslexia. My dad has, back from years ago, from in the, like when they were younger, it wasn't really diagnosed for me. And they do make it very, very difficult to read. And you've got to remember, the tester's manual is like hundreds and hundreds and maybe thousands of pages of information. So you've got to know how to go into a document, use the word search, like a particular word, like like asymmetric tire, for example. You'll put in asymmetric and it'll pull up that word from anywhere in the manual, and then that gives you an idea of where you're looking at for the answer. Basically, all the answers are in the manual or the tester's guide. They're all there. It's not a case of, in any way, shape or form, trying to do it differently. It's just a game of trying to find the answer from the question within the manual. It's easier said than done, but we got there anyway. So that's another year done and sorted. But who knows the future of MOT, and they're on about 3 and 4 years and God knows what. So we take every year as it comes. If we're doing it again next year, happy days. If it gets too ridiculous, even me at my age, I'll give them the 2 fingers and just finish with it, because it's just an absolute fiasco, to be quite honest. So that's it done. And possibly, I've just had a message when my phone's been on airplane mode doing the exam of somebody, potentially going to pick up a new project this afternoon. Don't know, got to see. I'm not going to give you any clues, and to be honest, it'll probably go along the same lines as the Mondeo. It'll be a quick turnaround, check it over, and if anybody wants a cheap runner, it'll be there, because in the next few months, I've got to start getting the rest of my cars on the road. But I don't know. I haven't even seen it. I don't know what colour it is. I don't know nothing. But I'm going to go across. If it starts off the booster pack, I'll have it. If it doesn't, it's going to scrap. I just thought I'd save it from scrap because they're a canny old car, actually. Nothing special. Don't get excited. But they are a canny old car. So I'll catch you on next week's vlog, guys. Please remember, like I've said on about these cars, if you've got any old bangers or any scrappers or anything, not stuff with massive holes in the floor, I'm not interested. But if it's a half decent runner and it's an alright car, let us know. And if it's not miles away, I could be interested to come and collect it. But if you enjoy the content, please leave a comment, hit the like button. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.